Today, it's really exciting around here because we're finally doing the Follies based on the Star Destroyer playset, which, as you know, is the toy based on where DV worked when he was in the military. That's his office. That's where he made all of his friends. I don't know if he's ever even seen the Kenner toy before, or if he even knows that a toy was made out of that ship. But I have to believe it holds so many memories for him. So I'm so excited to see what his reaction is when he finds out this is the Follies we're doing.
That's the ugliest doorstop I've ever seen.
That's funny. Yeah, this isn't a Star Destroyer, that's for sure.
A strange comparison, but okay. You could have just as easily said, yeah, this isn't a banana. Why would you compare a Star Destroyer to a doorstop?
Wait, you actually think this is a doorstop?
Nice try, but you cannot Jedi mind trick the Master, plebe.
But, dude, this is supposed to be the Star Destroyer playset. Look, it's got your alone time thingy in the walkway where you walk up and down and look at the officers and say, do this, do that, or I'll choke this and choke that.
Gaslighting is never funny. I actually thought better of you.
No! I don't believe this. Hold on, let me grab 2 printouts that will prove to you I am not messing with you. Just hold on.
Fine.
See? See?
They're the same picture.
Star Destroyer.
One of the most legendary achievements of Kenner's Star Wars toy line was how the company managed to keep all of the original 77 Kenner Star Wars figures in circulation from 1978 through 1984. When they went into Power of the Force in 1985, some of the original 77 became harder to find. But by that point, the Star Wars toy line was on its last legs anyway. What didn't always stay in circulation were the creatures, vehicles, and playsets. For example, as a kid who got into Star Wars in 1982, I had no idea for a long time that a Death Star playset ever existed. They weren't selling it anymore, and hadn't for a long time. By the time I was able to ask for toys for Christmas, Kenner had decided upon the Ewok Village as their central toy, having just replaced Darth Vader's Star Destroyer with it for the release of Return of the Jedi. 2 kids in my neighborhood growing up had Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, so I was well aware of the toy and all of its features, but I would never see one on store shelves due to the timing of my interest in the toys. The Star Destroyer had replaced the Death Star playset as the new central Imperial base in Kenner's assortment for The Empire Strikes Back. In recent years, I've seen some collectors try and redeem the Star Destroyer, insisting it's actually really cool and how we didn't give it a fair shake in the early 1980s. I think they're hoping the Star Destroyer can have a renaissance in the same way the Rebel Transport has for most collectors. The Rebel Transport was unsung and underrated. There's no denying that. But the Star Destroyer is just as awkward and goofy as we perceived it in the 80s. There's no revelation here that will elevate it in the eyes of anyone with a brain. Let's start with what it's trying to be. Kenner wanted this to be the Empire's Super Star Destroyer, Vader's flagship from The Empire Strikes Back. While it's vaguely shaped like a triangle in the tradition of a Star Destroyer, the vehicle, or playset, or whatever Kenner was trying to convince us it is smaller than the Millennium Falcon, which is kind of a problem. In the original commercial for this toy, we are meant to believe it's a vehicle that can be picked up by the landing struts and flown around the house. However, unlike all the other vehicles made for the Star Wars line, the Star Destroyer is completely open on both sides, looking more like the awkward cousin to Jabba's sail barge than a Super Star Destroyer.
Let my Star Destroyer.
Yes!
Let my Star Destroyer.
I get what Kenner was trying to do, but even before we discuss the first detail of this toy, on its face it needs to be 3 times the size it is presently to even hope to sell us that it's Darth Vader's ship. For the basis of this toy, Kenner chose the main bridge of the Super Star Destroyer, with the elevated walkway so Vader can stride over to that central window and just look at stuff. On either side are the lowered computer pits where all the officers do Empire stuff.
A lot of Empire stuff to do.
Empire
Getting
stuff.
Empire stuff done.
Busy
All
with
done
Empire
with this
stuff.
Empire
This
stuff.
At the back of the ship, they've made Vader's meditation chamber the focal point of the entire construct. Though, being right there on the bridge, I can't imagine Vader getting any privacy.
Roxanne,
What is he doing
don't
now?
have to put on the red light.
I believe he's singing, sir.
Unless you are in my meditation chamber, Roxanne.
I can hear that.
Roxanne.
I mean, what's he doing? Sounds like he's sending a fax, sir.
I can hear you out there. We talked about this.
The meditation chamber is home to one of Kenner's trademark electronic features for Star Wars toys. This time, an ominous glowing light that Kenner says strengthens Vader's powers with the Force. So, it's a Sith tanning booth?
What is this? Get out of my way.
My lord, please. As you can see, the occupied light is clearly illuminated. You must queue like everyone else.
For the love of Watto, I've told you this isn't a lavatory. No! Stop! You're not in a bathroom. You're in my office.
A small raised platform a few steps away from the chamber is, according to Kenner, where Darth Vader uses his evil force to kill his officers. In this case, the instructions show the Imperial commander, while the text says this is Star Destroyer commander, who is actually the figure formerly known as Death Squad commander.
You have failed me for the last time, and you call yourself a Star Destroyer commander?
Destroyer commander!
Oh, you're not. Pray tell who is.
Him!
Do you take me for a fool? No lackey security guard commands this ship. You have assured your own demise.
Well, they said the name change was a bad idea, but I dodged the proverbial bullet there. Well done, me.
In point of fact, the Imperial commander is an actual Star Destroyer commander, except Kenner screwed up and gave him an officer's uniform in black like they wore on the Death Star in the first film, while the card back shows the proper gray uniform for the character. I mean, we might as well take it a step further and just accept that's literally General Veers on the card back. So why this figure wasn't called General Veers baffles me. Then again, AT-AT Commander was also General Veers, and they didn't call him General Veers then either. So, Kenner hated General Veers, or they just liked playing head games with actor Julian Glover. Plus, this figure doesn't look like Glover, so why didn't they make this guy Admiral Piet, or anyone else, since Veers already had another figure? Meanwhile, the figure formerly known as Death Squad Commander, who's really just a basic Imperial fleet trooper, except he's wearing a gray uniform when he never wore a gray uniform, and in fact always wore a black uniform, so why they didn't just trade up clothes on Death Squad Commander and Imperial Commander, which would have solved— Wait, I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, they changed Death Squad Commander's name to Star Destroyer Commander, effectively giving a grunt trooper a huge promotion to command a capital ship.
Well done, me.
Vader's platform has a lever to rotate it slightly, but I'm not sure what the purpose is, as it cannot turn a full 180 degrees where he would be able to communicate with the hologram of the Grand Vizier. No, I didn't misspeak. It says right here, Grand Vizier. Apparently, he communicates with Vader through a bright orange fruit roll-up that drops down from the ceiling. Kenner calls this a hologram, but all I can taste is that plasticky, vaguely orange flavor that my Star Wars lunchbox could never keep cool enough. Admit it! Fruit roll-ups were always way too warm and unsettlingly floppy. And you know it! Just beyond the Grand Vizier's hologram is a pivoting laser cannon, which is always helpful, though once again, the Millennium Falcon has the superior configuration, more weapons than Vader's Star Destroyer, and something truly feels wrong about that. In the computer pits on either side, these alleys end with two massive vertical holes in the back of the ship at boot height, which seems like a major workplace safety violation. Since this is your first day on bridge duty, Lieutenant, we need to get you set up on the company network. If you'll follow up the stairs just behind me. Excuse me, Trooper. I just need to get around here and help the Lieutenant. Your serial number is your login, and you'll need to pick a password that only you know. Wait, where did he go? Trooper, wasn't a man just standing here?
With all due respect, sir, I was trying to find my will to live. I mean, everyone around here looks the same to me.
I didn't see anyone. People come and go all the time. If the card works, the card works. If the door opens, the door opens. I don't ask questions.
Well, you're just a pain in the neck, aren't you, Trooper?
That's an interesting choice of words.
Do you take me for a fool?
Apparently, Kenner even had the ambitious but misguided idea to design this playset to hook up with the Millennium Falcon like it did in The Empire Strikes Back, despite the hilarious disparity in the size of these two vehicles in toy form. According to the 1980 Kenner Toy Fair catalog, this feature had been envisioned, with the Millennium Falcon attached to the back of the Star Destroyer by hanging from its rear landing gear nose down. The rear sticker of the Star Destroyer even has what looks like clamping hooks on it to grab onto said vehicle. But wouldn't the Imperials working on the bridge suddenly notice the two huge landing gears sticking through the back of their ship? The instruction sheet for the Star Destroyer omits this feature, and I can understand why, because the Millennium Falcon is heavier and longer than the Star Destroyer. So if you were to hang the Millennium Falcon off the back of this vehicle, it would be too long, preventing the two vehicles from sitting flush on a flat surface, which would necessitate hanging the Millennium Falcon off the edge of a table, and its added weight would pitch both vehicles off the table onto a hard surface, breaking both of them. The entire idea, given the size these vehicles were made in, is just stupid, and I'm glad Kenner wisened up and quietly omitted it from the final instruction sheet. Early catalog art depicted Vader torturing an inverted Princess Leia, but they changed it to him torturing one of his own guys. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, you can suspend hapless figures upside down from the ceiling so Vader can torture them. The entire playset is just Darth Vader's personal playground for sadism. You've got a place for him to store up his dark powers, then use them on his own officers, while Skyping with the Grand Vizier. It's a 50 Shades of Grey basement of fun for a Dark Lord of the Sith. It's not a Star Destroyer. Even the escape hatch is so Vader's own officers can get away. It isn't so heroes can escape. Although I admit having action scenes in this playset between good guys and bad guys is hardly conventional. We must stop these rebels. I'll bring both of you up on charges of treason. Why aren't you firing back?
Listen, Linda. Princess Leia's accuracy is infamous, alright? She's like 3 feet away, over what's pretty much a countertop. And I kinda wanna go home today.
Yeah, all the troops call her the Widowmaker. You didn't know that? That's a load of codswallop.
Looks like Gary's getting another promotion.
Wow, this is stupid.
What?
I said this is stupid. Doesn't it feel kind of stupid to you?
Yeah, this does feel pretty stupid.
Whether the escape hatch is for officers fleeing Vader's bloodlust or for rebels evading capture, I have to ask. Where does an escape hatch on this Star Destroyer go? How are we gonna get out of here?
Just like last time. Into the garbage chute, Flyboy.
No way. I'd rather die here. Dang right, Chewie.
Luke and I are going with or without you.
Rebel scum.
We've captured 2 of them, but the other 2 escaped through that hatch in the floor.
Yeah, I think we can stand down. There's nothing left to worry about.
Sir?
Next time, take me with you.
And just don't do it with the Leia joke I know you're thinking of right now. No. No. No! This is authentic Star Wars we're talking about here. Classic Star Wars. Nobody survives that. When they went out that stupid hatch just now, Luke and Leia died. Died. Okay, moving on. Finally, we gotta talk about how Kenner tried to sell the idea that this was a vehicle you could pick up and fly around, using the rear landing gear struts to bracket either side of your arm, while using the front landing strut as the handhold. They expected you to run around the house with this
thing.
You ever tried to balance a cat on your forearm? Because that's what this thing looks and feels like when holding it. The fangs are facing away, the tail is sticking straight up, the starfish is right in your face. And it's always trying to fall off one side of your arm or the other. As a standing mini playset, it's something like the bridge of the Star Destroyer, or maybe a random Imperial outpost, I guess. It is in no way a spaceship, and should have been called Darth Vader's personal pontoon boat. As a vehicle, it is a dismal failure. And I'm sure there are going to be people defending this thing to the death, apologizing for its shortcomings and whatnot, but here's the deal. It was supposed to be Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, and it certainly is not. Love it and defend it until your keyboard cracks in half, but in the legendary words of Darth Vader himself, I want that ship, not excuses. You know that sitting under an orange light doesn't give you extra force power, right?
I know, but it does remind me of the time that stupid college kid tried to fight me to save his friends, and I wiped the floor with him.
An orange light reminds you of that.
Dude, it was like a disco of death in that chamber. Bespin architects are bizarre people.
Say the line and then pick him up. It's gonna not work.
And it's always trying to fall off one side or the other. And it's always trying to fall off one side or the other.